Chanting Sheep here, and I'm going to play with an ASMR challenge. I was challenged by Joanne of ASMR Relax for a While. That's her station. And it's kind of just a fun little tag game. And she was sweet and tagged me, so I'm going to tag a couple of other artists and tell you a little bit about her and them. And then you can choose to enjoy watching those if you'd like. So, Relax for a While. She started, I'm going to have a sip of tea, as just an audio station. Her videos, well, they weren't videos, but they were sound only. And sometimes I like to go back to those because I love to just be able to close my eyes and relax and not feel like I'm missing out on anything. Because I know it's audio only, but they're great relaxation exercises, and she has a wonderful presence on her new videos. Then she moved into ASMR, and she's very good, and she's really worked hard to put out a lot of videos with a great deal of variety. So she's done a really nice job, and she's got a wonderful nurturing presence. And so I'll put her link below, and then I guess you just add on to other links. So there'll be quite a few artists listed below. And I wore blue nail polish in honor. She loves blue. That was her favorite color, so I put on blue nail polish just for fun. So check her out if you'd like to. And then the two artists I'm going to tag are ASMR Anthony, who is just really wonderful. He's been around for a while, and he's kind of like me where he'll just put out a couple now and then. But he has, again, a really great presence. And there's a little twinkle in his eye. He has a little bit of a sense of humor that comes through too. And they're just simple, which tends to be my favorite. I like the simple videos. Sometimes I like a good high-tech binaural ASMR, but I do find more and more that as I go on in this, that the ones I come back to, or the artists I come back to, are those who keep it really simple, and where I don't feel like I'm getting overstimulated when I'm watching, because I don't know, sometimes that's how I experience some of them. So the other artist I'm going to tag, and she just barely did a video with some other artists, so she may not want to participate, or not for a while, so know that you're under no obligation. But it's Wise Woman Whispers. And if you've never watched her videos, I really recommend you check her out. She is a hands-only artist, and she'll put out about 2 a week. One of them is usually a reading, a card reading, and they're always super positive, and she's extremely wise and insightful and intuitive. So I enjoy her readings a lot. And then got a little frog in my throat. And then the other artist that I like, the other video that she does is generally like an unboxing, or sometimes she'll do a craft project or play with crystals. So they're always just hands, but she's got a wonderful presence and speaks very slowly. I wish I could learn that from her, and I really enjoy her. I don't know if you can hear the fairy horn blowing in the distance, but I love it. Okay, so the way it works is, and I'll just keep sipping tea because I enjoy it. Is there questions? And we answer those, and then add on a couple more. So, if it looks like it's getting too long on the video, I'll keep my eye on the clock. And maybe I'll leave off a question or two so it doesn't get old. I think it's funny that the first question is, how old are you? I wonder why that's something that fascinates people so much, but it seems to be. Anyway, I'm 51. So no more mystery, it's out there now. I'm 51. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is red. And I love all colors. I've got this a couple of these really cool rice carriers. I think they're from Thailand. And the other one is more of an orange, but I really love red. I'm especially kind of into that poppy red, bright red, but I always have it around in my house. I notice that even when I try to decorate a room with another color, it finds its way in somehow. So I like red. Favorite drink is tea. And my favorite tea, did I bring the box with me? Must have left it over by the sink. It's dandelion root tea by Traditional Medicinals. And it's got this wonderful earthy root flavor, especially when it's roasted. I've bought dandelion root that's just dried, and it's not nearly as flavorful to me anyway. Sometimes I will add stevia. I did this time stevia and a little bit of coconut milk. And if I want it to be more treat, desserty. And then other times I'll just drink it straight if I need to feel a little more grounded or just don't want the sweet flavor. So Traditional Medicinals, roasted dandelion root tea, and it's also organic, which is a bonus. So, favorite drink. All right. My favorite food. At first I thought, oh, I don't have a favorite food. I just love all food. And I do love all food. I'm allergic to a couple things, but I sure enjoy just about everything. But if I had to pick a favorite, I would say curries. I really like curries, whether they're Thai or Indian curries. I just love the spicy stews, and especially when they have coconut milk in them. Those are my favorites, probably. So, there you go, curries, curry dishes. My least favorite food, I mean, I'm allergic to chocolate, but I still think I like it still. Okay, my least favorite food is probably Chef Boyardee SpaghettiOs with meatballs. I don't know if they even still make it, but if they do, I can't believe that they can stay in business. It's just tastes terrible to me, but maybe somebody out there loves it. I did love it when I was a little girl, but it didn't stay in as a comfort food or anything for me. So there we go. Favorite ASMR artist? Not going to answer that one. Favorite animal? I love all animals. And I'm hoping next, and it will probably be a year or so, until I'm settled. But I would love to get a dog next. I had a cat, Salsa, who was a great cat. He's passed, but he was a really good cat. And anyway, I had, I want to say, we had him for probably about 10 years. And he was a sweet cat. And then, I don't know, I'm ready to experience what it's like to have a dog. Very different energy and higher maintenance, but I kind of want to see what that's like. So, there we go. All right, next question. Favorite time of year? Spring. I love spring. And it has been a wonderful, we had maybe 2 hot days here in the Pacific Northwest, but it's been the coolest spring, and like 60s this week. And I love that, because when it gets hot I don't have air conditioning and it gets a little miserable, but I really like this cool spring, and I love to go walking in it and see all the flowers and the new growth, and how all the trees have different colors of green when they have new growth, or red. Some of them have different colored leaves, and the blooms that come out, and seeing the different plants that kind of wake up and show off. It's just something about spring. What is your favorite sport and why? I grew up skiing, so I miss skiing. It's too expensive now. I can't keep up with it. Haven't done it for years, but I used to go, oops, that wasn't too loud. I used to go every Saturday up skiing with my dad and my brother in Colorado to Winter Park, and we would drive up the mountain, and I would get so car sick. We'd go up these horseshoe turns, and I'd get to the top and get out of the car and throw up and get back in and go down the other side of the mountain to the resort. And I wouldn't get sick on the way home, but I guess it was because it was early in the morning, and I don't know, but that was kind of the ritual. Car sick. I dreaded that part. But I loved skiing. I wish it were less expensive because I think it's such a cool sport for people to enjoy. And you get to see, winter. It's the one time I really enjoy winter because it's not my favorite season, but when I would be on the mountain, if it was a sunny day and the snow was just right, gosh, it was amazing. How do you spend your downtime? I don't watch TV. I'm not a TV person. I've never really loved the writing on TV, although I understand it's gotten a lot better in the last couple of years, but it tends to be so formulaic. And I feel like the actors don't have time to, they're all great actors, but they don't have time to let the characters get inside of them and to work on their characters and develop them because they have to pump stuff out so quickly, and I don't feel like enough time is spent on the script and character development. So the only option is to play these big emotional states. And, in your actor training, it's like not about playing emotional states, but about finding more about what's going on with the character in the moment. And, emotion can arise, but it's not the goal. So anyway, all right. Let's see. Downtime. Oh yeah, I just talked about TV. So what I do, I like to go to Barnes & Noble. Hi, Sheena. We had a discussion about she likes Barnes & Noble. I'm sure many people do. A good bookstore that has some kind of tea or coffee. That's something I enjoy because I love to get magazines. I love to get a little stack of magazines and sit down with my tea and just lose myself because a lot of times it's fun to see creative ideas. I'll get magazines that have, fixing up your house or craft projects of some kind. And it helps me dream. And I love to look at all the color and the ideas and feel that creative energy. And somehow with that creative energy, I go home feeling almost like I did a project, because my mind started going, oh, and I could do this, and I could take that idea and do this, and it just feels good. Your favorite movie? I've got many, but a favorite movie that's an old classic is To Kill a Mockingbird. I love the story, love the characters. And even though it's that old school acting, it was pretty darn good. And I just, something about Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch that's just classic. He was such a great character in that. And it even makes me get a little, what's the word? Choked up a little bit when I think about that character and what he stood for. Just loved it. Okay, and then the two questions added on by Joanne. Where do you experience ASMR from watching your own videos? That's a great question. And no, I think most ASMR artists I've heard say no, but maybe there's some exceptions. However, I do watch my own videos sometimes to fall asleep. They do put me to sleep sometimes, and strangely they can be comforting to me. Maybe it's like doing affirmations in the mirror. Somehow it's self-nurturing for me to hear myself saying those things and see myself. And so I don't know if that's strange, but I do sometimes find comfort in that. Does your family or friends know that you do ASMR videos? And if so, what is their reaction to it? My sister knows, and the rest of my family, I may have told them. I'm sure I haven't told everyone. You know, it's one of those things. I'm not one to go around saying, guess what, I make videos. But, and I know some of them would think it was weird, and some of them wouldn't, and some wouldn't care. My son knows that I do, but doesn't really enjoy watching them. He's like, it kind of feels weird to watch him, and I get it. So I'm like, man, no worries. But he thinks it's cool that I make them. He just doesn't really want to watch them, and he doesn't seem to be into ASMR. All right, my 2 questions that I'm adding on are, what's a favorite place that you've traveled? And so, of course, I was thinking what are favorite places when I was young. And it doesn't have to be overseas. It doesn't have to be anything exotic. It could be to a friend's cabin or, whatever. But when I was growing up, we got to travel a little bit because my dad worked for United Airlines. So we went to Hawaii and New York and Hong Kong and Taiwan and Austria and France and Greece. Some cool, a lot of those were combined trips, but my favorite place is London. I just feel so happy when I'm in London, and I love that I can I think that's what I kind of like about going across the water to Seattle, because I can walk on the ferry and walk off the ferry and access quite a bit through the public transportation system and feel safe, and that's pretty cool to me. So London, I love to ride the tube and pop up into a new place. I love Kew Gardens, I love their parks, and I love the theater. And I've been twice, and the first time I went, it kind of revived my hope in theater because I saw some amazing theater. I remember I saw the Shared Experience Theater Company many years ago do The Mill on the Floss, and it just absolutely blew my mind and transported me. I mean, I remember I sat on the very top row. I can't remember what theater, and it was in a bigger theater, and it was a very intimate piece, so it wasn't a piece I would have normally have thought would go there, but it had, had some success, so it was traveling and going into bigger houses. I sat in the nosebleed section at the very top, and I was sitting by myself, and I was sobbing at the end of the show when I stood and gave it a standing ovation. And anyway, that's not like me. I'm not one to, maybe because I trained in it to get moved to that level very often, but I did. So there's that, and great theater, and there's affordable theater there, so I really love it. I tend to like straight shows more than musical theater, although I still enjoy musical theater. So when I brought my son there when he was 15, that was our roughest year as far as our relationship goes. That was a rough year, and he was just so incredible all the rest of the time. But we had to, when we got to London, I learned that if I just said, okay, here we go, we're in Westminster Abbey, you take an hour and a half and we'll come back and meet at the end of it. And then I didn't drive him so crazy, and we could share what we were excited about, and if we missed one or the other missed it, we could go see it. So that worked well. And also he said before we went, I'll see 2 shows. I don't want to spend the whole time watching theater. He just wasn't interested. So I think it was the second night we were there, we had tickets to a farce, a comedy called Boeing. And we sat and watched the show, and at the intermission, he leans over to me, and we had just been laughing. It was a great audience that night too, and a funny show. And he leans over to me and he said, I want to see as much theater as we can afford to see. So So he really wanted to see a bunch of shows. So we did. We saw as much as I could afford. And it was just fun. Yeah, I just remember how he kind of fell in love with it there too. So, London. Last question. This may be my longest video yet. And this is not a surprise from me since, I've got my landscape architecture background, but what is your favorite tree and why? So you can answer that one too. And the artists can answer it as well. But if you think about it for a minute, just tell me what your favorite tree is, or a favorite tree. It doesn't have to be the favorite, but what is a favorite tree of yours that you enjoy? And why? I love trees. So my favorite, that's not my favorite, but one of my favorites, because I love all kinds of trees and the different quirks that each of them have, it's a linden. I love linden, and there are many kinds of linden. There's silver leaf and little leaf and all kinds of lindens, but this is the time of year when they're wonderful, is in the spring and June generally, and their little tiny flowers come out, and some produce larger than others, but the blossoms are actually good for you if you dry them and make them into tea, linden leaf tea, or linden flowers tea. Anyway, but the scent is just intoxicating. If you walk under a lane that has lindens on it, this time of year it just smells, to me, exquisite. So I love lindens, and that's why. So those are my answers to the questions, and I've tagged my 2 ASMR artists, and thank you, Joanne, for thinking of me. That was very sweet. And I hope that you all have a wonderful night, and I will see you again.